Hello and welcome to the Build with Bear workshop. My name is Pat Bear. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. And before we get into that, I gotta start by throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes like Lashbrook did. Hello, Lashbrook. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you feel like being a lurker and not saying anything, go ahead and lurk. I'm not going to stop you. I do love it when chat is vibrant, when people are talking and asking questions and commenting on what I'm talking about, so it doesn't feel like I'm doing a monologue. It feels like I'm leading the conversation, if that makes any sense. But if people just want to hang out, also, I'm not here to stop you. Yeah. Lord Crashen's here. Welcome, Lord Crashen. Happy to have you here on this fine Checks Notes Thursday evening. It's a Thursday. The long weekend is ahead of us. I will be streaming on Monday because I don't observe holidays that are not Christmas and most of the time Thanksgiving, although sometimes I also stream on Thanksgiving. As far as I know, I have no planned stream breaks anytime soon. Lord Crash says, fight the power. Indeed. Actually, that's not true. I am most likely going to take off a day in June. June 22nd. I will not be streaming. I'm going to say that right now. Let's plan for it. June 22nd, not streaming. Why? Well, because I'm going to stream on June 21st. And I'm going to do a long stream, like a 4-hour to 5-hour stream, because it will be my subathon, my birthday subathon. Will be Friday, June 21st. My birthday is the 23rd, which is that Sunday. So I will be streaming for a very long time. Sorry, I have an itch that I just, god damn. I will have a very long stream that Friday, and so I'll take that Saturday off. That's how that'll go. And that'll be fun, and I hope you can come for that. But that's a ways away. That's so far in the future. I got to fix my microphone here. Part of my microphone where it bends, my mic arm, because I have a mic arm, and part of that sometimes is outside of the frame that I have built, which is annoying. Should I stick this mic arm somewhere over there so it just points at me and isn't underneath me? Maybe, but I also do this. I lean down to build, and I'm afraid if I lean down to build, my mic's over there as a shotgun mic. This is not meant to be a shotgun mic. This is. So, I'm keeping it as it is. For now, anyway. I got some stuff to talk about tonight. This might be a very chill stream. We might not have too many people here tonight, which is okay. That happens. Before we get into it, let's see. Let's see. What else we got on here? Okay. Yeah. Should say, just quick, right off the bat, 35 subscribers currently. Goal is to get to 50. I shut up about it at 50. As I said, I'm doing a subathon in June. I'll try to get way beyond 50 for June, but I'll have rewards for that. I think my first goal for that will be 44. I'll go because that'll be my age. I will have turned 44 2 days after the stream, but whatever. But I'll try to hit my age for that, and then they will go up in ridiculousness. I never made my big goal of Monster Milk, which would be Monster Energy Drink and Milk. I never hit that goal in my January subathon, so I theoretically could make that the thing. I'm not necessarily sold on that. It's a good name, and I didn't drink it, so I could do it. I have also, I could also just do, I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to do Pilk, Pepsi Milk, or Dilk Mountain Dew Milk again. One, because Pilk didn't really bother me, and two, as I have discussed previously, I kind of actually liked Mountain Dew and milk, so I probably shouldn't drink that again just on principle. We are going to continue working on the Gundam Astray Gold Frame Amatsu Mina, which is the longest name for a model kit that I have built in some time, which is fun. There's no like twist on that. It's just fun. Let's see. Uh, Relic Entertainment is independent again. We're going to start with some good news. Question mark? Maybe? Possibly. Um, Relic, who you may remember split from Sega in March. They split away from Sega back in March. Sega Europe, they were under the presses of. Um, they've been bouncing around. You also may remember that they were owned by THQ and they got acquired in 2004. So this is the first time in 20 years that they are an independent studio. They got an influx of cash. Let's see here. Let's see. Yeah. What's Amona Capital. They have invested in a few things as well. Do I love the idea of an independent studio being so tied to a J5, being so tied to a hedge fund or capital group, investment group? No, I don't love that. But hopefully it will work out for Relic. They make games that I appreciate from afar. Let's see. But yeah, apparently they're in on strategy games, and they use the phrase medium term, not long term. So they're like, things that they'll pay off pretty quickly. So it's like, okay, sure, good on them. Hope they don't get screwed over like Red Lobster. I mean, so that's the thing of Red Lobster is screwed over by a number of things. Mismanagement, a misunderstanding of when to expand, people's changing tastes, the proliferation of seafood in markets that Red Lobster was the seafood, and then also investment. But Red Lobster is more about don't let hedge funds own your company and have them dump debt that they acquired other places on you. That's a separate thing. That's like the Toys R Us thing. That's a bit separate from taking investment from a capital group. And reminder, as part of the split, 41 employees of Relic got laid off, which was part of the split and also part of the 240 people that got laid off by Sega at the same time as the split happened. So part of those was just making a leaner team, which sucks, but is understandable. So that's some good news with some caveats. There are some other things we should talk about. Let's talk about an acquisition that led to layoffs. So I don't have any layoff stories today for the world of video games. If there were, they did not make enough waves to end up in news stories. But that doesn't mean there weren't related to the game's layoffs, because there were a ton of layoffs as part of the Gamer Network being acquired by IGN Entertainment, a Ziff Davis production. They have, in the process of acquiring people from the Gamer Network, which I'll go into all of the people involved in that, they have laid off a ton of folks. And that group includes Eurogamer, Video Games 24/7, Rock Paper Shotgun, GameIndustry.biz. In fact, I'm reading an article from GameIndustry.biz about this. Some redundancies have been made across the UK-based organization because they don't need the people. They need the ad space. They need the websites that people will want to look at still for a while anyway. And they want those people to see their ad network of stuff. They don't need reporters with decades of experience. So they don't need inroads in Europe. Game Network's publications are Game Industry Biz, Eurogamer, which there's several languages there that they do in-house, Rock, Paper, Shotgun, Video Games 24/7, and Dice Breaker. And so, there are also the fact that Gamer Network doesn't own some properties, but they have investments in some properties that I should mention here once I find this piece that I need. They also have investments in Hookshot, which operates some magazines, Nintendo Life, and some other things. They also have investments in Outside Xbox, Digital Foundry. So they don't own those, but they have investments, which now means that IGN Entertainment has investments in some of those things, which is why there weren't layoffs or closures at those places, because it's just investments. Those could come, I'm sure. And if you were like, well, does that mean that IGN now owns some events? No. ReedPop kept the events, which you might suggest to someone like me that was what ReedPop wanted in the first place when it bought Gamer Network. They wanted EGX, which is the events, and they wanted a Comic-Con, which is the MCM. Also, they wanted Popverse, because of course they did. Those are the things that they wanted, and so they retained them. A lot of people got laid off who were awesome. It sucks. A lot of this just sucks. I don't have a lot to say about it, really, unfortunately, other than, oh wow, that sucks shit. My condolences to those that have lost their jobs because of this. It is a rough time to be a games journalist, because there are just fewer and fewer outlets. These huge networks of game sites seem like not a great place to be. Well, Lord Crashington, it was on the one hand, yeah. On the other hand, they're the ones that pay anything. You know, like people were like, oh, well, these people should go to smaller sites. I'm like, well, those smaller sites don't have money for those people. Now, yes, they got laid off in redundancies as those things close and they capture, and they get smaller. But the larger sites are the ones where you have enough employees to unionize, or you have protections. These are European-based jobs. So a lot of these people who are not U.S.-based, as long as the companies weren't trying to get around it, like Reed, if they were signed contracts with Reed and not through Gamer Network, then there's going to be more issues there. But like these larger sites are rough because they will have huge layoffs, but they're also the ones that are hiring. So it's a double-edged sword. There's no good place to be. The only good, and that's in parentheticals, place to be is busting your ass to have a subscriber model. And that's a nightmare. That's a different nightmare. Because now you're in charge of ad revenue and content and making sure your fellow employees have healthcare. You have to now do all of that instead of having that be delegated to other people, and then you can focus on your job and you don't have to do the work of trying to make sure that you can get a place that is pumping money into internet-based cereal and trying to make sure that they will give you 5 ad reads instead of 3 ad reads for your podcast, and hoping that's going to be enough, because Patreon changed some weird thing about their homepage, and suddenly you have a decrease in people going to Patreon and then letting their accounts lapse. Patreon does a whoopsie, and suddenly you're down 7%. Or Discord changes a thing, and then the thing that was keeping you going suddenly doesn't have an avenue. And then the trade-off is supposed to be, well, it kind of sucks here. And obviously that's not cool. That's a bummer that the trade-off is, it sucks to work at this place. But it's the thought would be that it's job security. But obviously that's not true. There is a reason why when you see these folks, these tenured folks, these folks that have been in the industry doing good work, respected work for decades, when they are like, I would love job recommendations, they clearly say, in games journalism, open to other discussions. Because some of them are just fucking tired. One of the reasons why so many games journalists move into video games is because for a very long time, video games were more stable than games journalism. That is not the case anymore, but it was for a very long time. It technically still is more stable. It's just that it also sucks. But yeah, the games journalist to game game developer staffer pipeline is not just because some people get into games journalism because they want to do something in games. They'll do anything they can in games, and it was easier with your journalism degree or your English degree to get a job working in games journalism than it was to get a job on the community team. Seri, I might have to remove permissions from SeriBot and redo it because we had our ad break. SeriBot is just really delayed, so I gotta look into that because that's now 2 times that has happened. So I gotta take a look at SeriBot. But yeah, that part of that pipeline used to be, oh yeah, this person got a job at Destructoid because that was a job they could get, and then they could make connections, and then eventually they got a communication job at a game studio, and they moved from that. And it's like, yeah, that is a story that certainly happened a lot. But speaking to friends of mine, it was just they were looking for some kind of work, and their industry wasn't supplying those jobs. And so they ended up moving into games because games journalism has a ceiling. There are only so many jobs, especially higher up. There's only so many editor-in-chiefs. And a lot of editor-in-chief jobs don't pay well. Because they're, and it's just kind of like on paper, editor-in-chief. There is nothing for me to panel line here. The arms, other than the shoulder, don't have any. This shoulder had a lot of stickers. This arm has no stickers. It has no need for me to panel line it, which I will take and be very happy with. We'll see if there's any other news stories I want to mention here before we get into it. We're gonna transition from games depression to a sad story here in wrestling. PW Insider got a statement from Eddie Kingston, professional wrestler and the realest man in wrestling. Eddie Kingston did have a conversation with PW Insider about his health right now, coming out of a injury that he suffered, and New Japan Strong Show. He said that after his surgery is completed. It will be about probably 10 months before he'll be able to return to the ring, and it will be a while before he can have the surgery. So not only is he going to be waiting a while, probably 10 months for everything to heal, he needs to be in better shape before the surgery starts. Because he has to repair his ACL. And in order to do the surgery on the ACL and meniscus tears, but to do those surgeries, his knee injury has to recover some before he can go in there and do that, which is just fucked up. He said that he's been advised initially he'll have to wait for his tibial fracture to heal and do some physical therapy before surgeons can then focus on the knee. So, pardon me, yes. So he's got the meniscus tear has to heal, and then he has to get into some shape before they will do surgery on his knee. And then, of course, Eddie Kingston had to be Eddie Kingston because he said, "I'm not mad. I don't give a fuck. It's what's happened. It's what happens when you wrestle. Just got to get fucking better," which is a very Eddie Kingston thing to say. We hope for a speedy recovery. Again, looks like it's going to be months before he is ready for surgery, and then months after that surgery before we will see him wrestling again. I hope that he can find some creative outlets for himself, and I hope that his near and dears keep him in the loop and keep talking with him and hanging out with him and all that, and keep him focused on some stuff. I hope once he's able to travel and he's in that part of the recovery, can pick up some workshops and some other stuff and do some shenanigans, send a film crew to go hang out with him, get some interviews in. But yeah, I hope for a speedy recovery for Eddie Kingston because he fucking whips ass and it's a bummer. Speaking of wrestling, we should talk about, there are 2 wrestling pay-per-views this weekend, one of which I'll be watching on Sunday. I'll be watching Double or Nothing. On Saturday, we will go through the Double or Nothing card. I will give my thoughts and predictions about what's going to happen there. But let's see. So this is, the pieces go on there. That's J17 has J1. Yeah, J17 is a big piece there. L. We're gonna do the parts of this that doesn't require me to put on a giant bending sticker. So we're just gonna do the other half of this and then put the sticker on and do that part. So yeah, on Saturday I felt like Saturday I will go through the results of the show we're gonna talk about tonight, and then I will go through my predictions for Double or Nothing, mainly because the card seems set, but we don't know any of the pre-show matches. They'll probably get settled on Saturday during Collision. So during the stream, we'll probably learn more about the other matches that are going to be on that card. So that's I, and then I need L, and then I need J. This is L12 here. So King and Queen of the Ring is happening over in Saudi Arabia. So I will not be watching. I will also not be watching SmackDown out of Saudi Arabia. I make a lot of concessions when it comes to wrestling, and this is one that I will not be making. I do not watch the wrestling shows out of Saudi Arabia, as they are now. While the Saudi fund does put a lot of money into a lot of things, a lot of times those are things that you wouldn't even be aware of, and maybe that's worse. But for me, in my opinion, the money they pump into WWE to show off how beautiful the cities are, and look at the country of Saudi Arabia, is so awful that I feel like it crosses a line into a territory I'm not comfortable to be in. On a personal level, the fact that last year Sami Zayn was welcomed as he is a man of Muslim faith. The fact that he was able to see religious sites that he never thought he would be able to see in his life, that speaks to me. I appreciate that. I don't know if he would have been able to do that had it not been for the WWE and his place there. So I can appreciate that. Overall, I'm not fucking interested in watching King of the Queen of the Ring, but I am interested in what happens during the show because I follow the product. And so I'm like, have an interest in what the wrestling ends up being. So I feel like that's a thing that I can chat with you about. All right, let's get this going on here. All right. Most of this shoulder piece is done. This piece is going to require me to put a sticker on it, and that sticker bends and folds around, and that sucks, so we'll do that now. There are 5 matches on the card. Two of them are, one is the King of the Ring and the other is the Queen of the Ring. There has been a tournament. The tournament is not over until Friday when the second semifinals are decided. So we'll get to that there. That adds a lot of intrigue because right now we don't know what the finals are going to be. So that's interesting. I will describe it as interesting. Here are the matches we do know. Becky Lynch is defending the Women's World Championship against Liv Morgan. Becky signed a deal with WWE. She has renewed her contract. She is there for a while. But even though she has just recently signed that deal, in my mind, Liv Morgan is going to win. They are putting a renewed effort behind Liv Morgan. And I think that Becky does not need to have the belt. Becky can have compelling stories with a variety of wrestlers. Becky trying to win that belt back would be good and interesting. So in my mind, there are 3 belts on the line. This is the belt that changes hands in Saudi Arabia. I don't think any other belt changes hands. I think this is the one that actually does go. And it goes to Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan becomes champion. That is my opinion on this one. I'm going to panel line this a little bit here. It's a little bit of black on this. One of the other 2 championship matches. Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable versus Bronson Reed for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, there was a world where I would have said that Chad Gable was going to win. That changed when this became a 3-way fight. I do believe that Chad Gable, heel Chad Gable, will have that belt at some point. That in the near future, he will be the Intercontinental Champion. It could be but it won't be at this one. Sami Zayn does not lose in Saudi Arabia, in my opinion. I do not see Sami losing. I feel like Sami is going to retain his title. So then he pins either Chad or Bronson Reed. And I think that's the way it goes. I could be wrong. I have been wrong before. I think Chad Gable with the Intercontinental title as a heel is good for business. I think that is a smart move. I don't think Sami needs to have the belt anymore. Sami had a great WrestleMania match with Gunther. It was a feel-good moment. It was time for Gunther to move on and move into other things. So that's where they went with it, and I think that's a fine place to go. What may or may not be your main event, Cody Rhodes defending the undisputed WWE Championship against Logan Paul. Originally, this was going to be a title versus title match. It doesn't matter either way. Logan Paul's not winning. This is a big money match thing. This is a big deal. The promos have been fine. I do not expect Logan Paul to win and become the Universal Champion. He has said that he is not going to cheat at this show. he will still cheat because he will be lying. But I do not see a world in which he becomes champion in Saudi Arabia. Because for one thing, WWE knows that these shows make a lot of money, but they're not viewed that well. It will be on in the afternoon, and that afternoon pay-per-views do not do well for WWE because it's still pay-per-view in some countries. Their network shows, their Peacock show, do not do particularly well in the afternoon. Saudi Arabia shows generally don't do as well as other shows. So I could definitely see a world in which they were just like, this is a big thing. It doesn't matter what happens in it. And then that just leads to Cody defending his title and winning in a feel-good moment. There is a chance that some in the crowd will also cheer for Logan Paul because you never fucking know. But they maybe are just going to cheer the fact that he exists and he's there. Ooh, something is in this. Okay, there are nubbins that I need to take off this piece here, apparently. Now let's get into the King and Queen of the Ring. Right now, representing Raw, the Raw finalists are Gunther in the men's and Lyra Valkyria in the women's. If you've not heard the name Lyra Valkyria, she has recently been called up from NXT. They are putting, obviously, a lot behind her. She is a fantastic wrestler and pretty much like exactly what they want in an NXT person making the move to the main roster. It's awesome that she is in the main event, or she is in the finals. That is rad. Kudos to her. And Gunther will challenge either. Let me look at this. I gotta find the thing here. So Gunther will either challenge Randy Orton or Tama Tonga. That will be decided on Friday. Also decided on Friday will be Nia Jax and Bianca Belair. So our options here for the King of the Ring will either be Gunther versus Randy Orton or Gunther versus Tama Tonga. Now, there is one thing to say before we get into that. Oh, and then also it'll be Lyra versus Nia Jax or Lyra versus Bianca Belair. There is one other thing, a thing that has changed my predictions about how these matches are going to end up. And I did want to say that because it's important to mention this to then dive into my thoughts on this. Oh, and also this kid has a bunch of goddamn stickers to put on here. Put the polycap in, and then I'm going to do the stickers. Because, of course, it has a bunch of stickers. So, the winner, the King and Queen of the Ring, will get a world title shot, depending on what brand they're on, at SummerSlam. SummerSlam is in August. In between, there will be Clash at the Castle and Money in the Bank, the June and July pay-per-views. So there will be time. So the current world champions might not be the world champions then. That changes things. To me, it tells me that Randy Orton is going to beat Gunther. Now, should Gunther become King of the Ring? Yes. Gunther should 100% become King of the Ring. But the current champion on Raw is Damian Priest, a heel. His next opponent is going to be, at Clash at the Castle, Drew McIntyre, who is a heel, who will be treated like a babyface in Scotland, but is a heel. So that complicates things. Now, on the other side, Cody Rhodes, by the time we get to SummerSlam, Cody Rhodes is still going to be champion. Randy Orton could turn heel. Before that, we're always ready for Randy Orton to turn heel because Randy Orton likes to turn heel. If Randy Orton turns heel, then you have the former leader of Legacy, a group that Cody Rhodes was in. And you get to say that thing of, hey, Cody, Remember when you did what I told you to do? Now I'm here for my title. You know, your title is my title. I want that belt or whatever. It's an easy story to tell. It's the guy that has to. It's like because it feels like a lot of the Cody matches we're going to see are Cody proving himself as a champion, um, and that makes a lot of sense. That to me makes more sense than one. Tama Tonga is not fun to fucking win in this thing. It putting Cody in with the bloodline makes a lot of sense. Tama Tonga winning this, that just doesn't make any sense at all. So Randy and Gunther make a lot more sense. I am still hoping that Gunther wins because he should be king of the ring because he's the ring general. So he should be king of the ring general. Ring general. But I think that makes a lot of sense and would be easy to set up. Wait, is this the right sticker? Oh, I'm putting this in the wrong spot. Sorry, I think I put the sticker on wrong. I was like, this sticker doesn't really fit where it's telling me to put it, and that's because I was doing it wrong. That's where I need to go. Look at that. That works out much better, and that makes much more sense. Great. So while I want it to be Gunther, I think it's going to be Randy Orton. Randy Orton has never won King of the Ring. He is closer to retirement than he is the beginning of his career. It would make a lot of sense for him to win that and then to have it out with Cody at SummerSlam. Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes makes a lot of sense. That's the kind of thing that I see Triple H really liking, that he would be way into that shit. So that's why I think that's what's going to happen. On the women's side, I don't know. I think if Liv Morgan wins, then Lyra Valkyria, who is a babyface, going in makes a lot of sense. Lyra having that opportunity at SummerSlam, a long program with Liv Morgan, the heel, makes a lot of sense to me. I think that works. But on the other hand, Nia Jax already attacked Bayley. Bayley is the champion on SmackDown. Nia Jax wanting to beat Bayley makes a lot of sense to me. Nia Jax is not a good wrestler, but she has gotten better since she was last in the WWE after she was released previously and came back. She has certainly improved some. I will not say that she has gotten good, but I will say that she has improved. So I could see a world where, wait, what piece is this? Where does this even go? Oh, that goes there. Okay. We're building off that. Got it. Sorry. I could see a world where Nia Jax wins. Would that be a bummer? Of course it would. And then Bianca Belair also could just win. Bianca Belair is a babyface, but she does not trust Bayley and still blames Bayley for damage control and all that. So I could see a world where she wins and then is just mad at Bayley for all of those things and just wants her revenge. Also, Bianca beating Nia is interesting since Nia beat Jade, her having her tag team partner win Queen of the Ring. Then sometime before that, they lose the tag belts. Then that starts a feud with Jade, which is the big money thing in my opinion. That is the thing that makes the most sense is Jade versus Bianca Belair at some point. That's fucking money. So I don't know. I don't know how this all works out. I guess it's a good space to not know, right? That to me is interesting when you don't know. When you're like, I don't know who's going to win this. I don't know where this stands. It could go either way. Again, I think the women's is way more interesting because I think all three make sense. I don't want it for Nyla. I think that Nia Jax has gotten better, but I still don't think she's a good wrestler. I think her being Queen of the Ring would be a bummer. That's just my opinion on that. Um, and then I think that Bianca, that would be cool, and that would lead to a good program. And then it would be fucking huge for someone who has only been on the main roster for a couple months at most, weeks, really, for Lyra Valkyria to suddenly be Queen of the Ring and then going after the title is interesting. That to me is the most interesting thing of the three options. So it's probably not going to happen. And then again, for the men's, I still think it's going to be Randy Orton. I want it to be Gunther, but I think Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes at SummerSlam makes a lot of sense. That just, to me, is the money match. If you're gonna do a big match like that, that's the one you do. Whereas like Gunther beating like Gunther versus Damian Priest. Like also like I think Gunther's not going to win King of the Ring. I think Gunther's going to win Money in the Bank. I think that's I would say you put the Money in the Bank briefcase on Gunther, and he is just a terrifying presence on Raw for weeks and weeks, where heels are worried about him, baby faces are worried about him. I think that's the thing you do. I think you have Ludwig Kaiser carrying around the briefcase. That makes, to me, that's money. I don't know. I'm not going to watch it live, but I will read results and we'll talk about it on Saturday. And I think it could end up being pretty cool. I guess we'll do I'll do a breakdown of Double or Nothing. I got the time to do a breakdown of Double or Nothing. There are 10 matches on the card for AEW's Double or Nothing. We still don't know. The pre-show will be an hour and a half, so the pre-show will include 2, maybe 3 matches. We do not know what those matches are right now. They will be probably figured out. They might be announced on Rampage on Friday. Reminder for folks that watch AEW, Rampage will be on at 6 p.m. I think on TBS, but maybe on TNT. I can't remember, but it'll be on at 6 p.m. and not a 10 p.m. because that's just what's going on right now because of basketball and hockey. And then Collision will be on TBS this weekend. So if you're wanting to watch the Go Home show, you got to watch that on TBS and not TNT. Pardon me. Sorry, everybody. Hold on. My allergies are really kicking my ass today, so my apologies for that. I don't know if I just choked up a bunch of dust or what happened, but all right, so it goes like this. This is going to go like that. These hands are very different, which is cool, but it does force me to pay more attention than I would on another kit. Because yeah, it's a lot going on with these builds, and also there's little nubbins to take care of and all that. So I guess my head's got to be on a swivel. So 10 matches. 3 main events. They literally said they have 3 main events, which is a cop-out. Fuck off. You don't have 3 main events. You have important matches, and you have a main event. But they say they have 3. The undercard are as follows. Roderick Strong defending the AEW International title against Will Ospreay. I think Will Ospreay wins. I don't think you hand Will Ospreay a loss to Roderick Strong, even with a bunch of bullshit. I can see a world in which there is a bunch of bullshit in the part of Don Callis, like abandoning Will Ospreay. There are a lot of people in the United Empire that are not around to have Will's back. Meanwhile, Roddy Strong has the Undisputed Kingdom in his corner, which will make their presence known, which will lead to shenanigans and trouble for our boy. But I also could see a world where Will Ospreay just wins and has a belt because you want a belt on Will Ospreay for a while. I think that's fine. I think Roddy doesn't really lose anything by dropping that belt, and I think that it's be really weird for Will Ospreay to lose it. That opportunity. So I think it's going to be Will Ospreay, but I also could totally be wrong about that. All right, let's get the hand on here. A27 and then D235. Okay. A27 is the gold hand. That's right, because this kit has this kit is like got like a backup arm on it, which I really like. Is very striking and different. Our other matches, Timeless Tony Storm with Luther, I should say, and Mariah May defending the AW Women's World Championship against Serena Deeb. And this one is this is probably the easiest one to call. Because like even the ones that I'm like, oh, I'm sure it's going to be so-and-so, I could feel like there is a chance that it could go a different way. Lastbrook says, honestly, I think the belts are the only thing keeping Undisputed Kingdom relevant. I think, Lord Lastbrook, I think they are not relevant at all. I think Roderick Strong being the international champion makes people forget that the international championship exists at all. They have such a negative, high energy of suck that it makes people go, oh yeah, the ROH has tag belts, huh? Like, there's nothing. They do nothing. I think that belt needs to get off of Roddy Strong. Timeless Tony Storm is going to win. They've been weird about this, about trying to make Serena Deeb a babyface when she is very unlikable. She is just such an unlikable person for various important and understandable reasons. Is this 25 or did I grab 24 mistake? I might grab 24 mistake. Yeah, it's 24. Okay, this is the wrong piece. But Serena Deeb, even though she is supposed to be the babyface in this, Tony Storm is going to get cheered because Tony Storm fucking rules. Her whole crew rules. Tony Storm's going to win. No question. We have a barbed wire steel cage match. Not a roof on that cage, but barbed wire on the top. Adam Copeland defending the TNT Championship against Malachi Black. Malachi Black got a bloodbath on Dynamite. These are two men who often do not lose, especially singles matches. Neither of them lose that often. But I think that this is the end of Adam Copeland as a champion. And it will be the beginning of Adam Copeland spending months, maybe or maybe not, joining House of Black. And it will take way too long and not be that great. And I think Malachi Black as the TNT champion is cool and interesting, especially since he prefers to work on Collision on Saturdays, which is on TNT. I think he will be a good TNT champion. I think this match is going to be cool. I expect it to go first because that way they can just break the cage down. They don't have to set up the cage and then break it down. But also, I think it'll be a good opener and a good nonsense match. But yeah, I think Adam Copeland loses it. Malachi Black becomes champion. That's interesting. Maybe Gangrel may or may not be there for the entrance. I would love it if Gangrel showed up to help cost Adam Copeland the match. That would just be funny. That would be really fun in a weird way. But anyway, I think it's going to be Malachi. I could see them keeping it on Adam Copeland, but I don't know. I think that's where to go with it. Jon Moxley versus Takeshita. Konosuke Takeshita. The IWGP World Heavyweight Championship Eliminator match. If Takeshita wins, he will receive a future World Heavyweight Championship match against ? Because Moxley has an upcoming match And so if Moxley loses the match there, then Takeshita will face that person. This is a weird match because I don't like eliminators. They should just make it a world title match. Now, I understand that Takeshita, being a graduate of DDT and still associated with DDT, who are not the same, who are competitors with New Japan, it would be odd for him to have a world title match. So having an eliminator match is probably a compromise. But then why have it at all? Why not just have these two guys fight each other? Why make it an eliminator? Why have a title on the line? What is this? And then does Takeshita win? But then Moxley lose the belt before Forbidden Door? So then Takeshita faces the New Japan champion at Forbidden Door? I actually think that's where they're going. So I think, against my better judgment, I think Takeshita is going to win on Sunday. I don't think it's a good idea, but I think that's what they're doing. I think they're going to... Okay, so let's see. Do we have two different feet? Oh, these are all... Do all this at the same time. Do all this at the same time. But this just says one. This just says one. This doesn't say do it twice. Yes, okay, because they're two different feet. So some of the stuff we're going to be able to do at the same time. Some of them we got to do different. It's so weird. Asymmetrical stuff like this always weirds me out, but I do think it looks cool. It does weird me out. All right, getting through the rest of this card. Trent Beretta versus Orange Cassidy, singles match. There's no stipulation for this one. I think Trent Beretta wins to continue it. I think Trent wins, and they have a blow-off in, because that'll be, the rubber match, and I think they have a blow-off with a stipulation. Maybe that will be on TV, but I think Trent wins. It's weird to say, because I also think that Don Callis being interested in Orange Cassidy is a fakie. Oh, actually, I'm not done. I jumped. Sorry, folks. I jumped to the feet. I have to build the weapon that goes on the arm. I got to build the arm attachment. There is an attachment that goes on this arm that I need to build here. The hooks. I got to build all the hooks. So we got to take a pause on working on the legs so that I can work on that. Got to put some hookies on. Yeah, I think Trent Beretta is going to win. Chris Jericho versus Hook versus Shibata for the FTW Championship. Chris Jericho wins. It sucks. If it was Chris Jericho versus Hook, I would say that Hook wins because Shibata is in there. I think that Shibata once again loses to fucking Chris Jericho, which is depressing and shouldn't happen. I would also take Shibata winning this, but I don't think Hook wins this match. I think the learning tree, which sucked and then I didn't hate, has moved back over into sucking again. I think it sucks. I feel bad for Big Bill. He does whatever you give him. He makes it work as best he can. I don't know if there's any saving this particular bullshit, which is a shame. Trios match that got added on Wednesday. Bang Bang Gang. Jay White and Austin Gunn and Colton Gunn versus Death Triangle, Pac, Ray Fenix, and Penta. Ray Fenix is back and looking buff as hell. Scarily buff. Questionably buff. Worryingly buff. Buff and cut. What's up? What's up, my guy? What are we doing here? This one could fucking go either way. I feel like Shibata wins. They've been setting up this whole Hook custody feud. Yeah, I mean, I can see a world where he does. I don't personally. I guess I just don't want Shibata to have that weird belt, that weird outlaw belt. Is just a strange thing to say that Shibata has it. I don't know. I can see Death Triangle winning this. I also can see the Bang Bang Gang winning this. I think either is fine and both make sense. Pac going into All In a couple months as a champion in AEW feels good to me. They could do the rematch there. I think that works. I don't know. I don't have negative feelings about that one. I can go either way on that one. I kind of don't care. Willow Nightingale defends her TBS championship against Mercedes Moné. And she loses to Mercedes Moné. The cool thing would be that Willow wins, but she isn't going to. They spent a lot of money on Mercedes Moné. They spent an insane amount of money on Mercedes. They put so much money into her so that she can be the voice, the face of TBS. I feel like there hasn't been a big enough setup. Also, I'm willing to throw in my favorites. The Death Triangle losing if we get Willow winning. Last week, we're not getting Willow winning. It's not happening. Tony Khan isn't cool enough to have Willow definitively beat her. I feel like we're going to see heel Chris Statlander, and we're going to have Willow in non-title brutality with Statlander, and that is what we're going to get, and that is our treat after this. But Mercedes Moné as TBS champion just makes so much fucking sense. It just makes so much goddamn sense that, like, it's just what's going to happen. It's her first match in the company. It's the thing that she wants. It's the belt. It's not the belt she didn't get in New Japan, but it is the belt. And I just think that that's where they're going with it. They're going to put the belt on Mercedes for a long time, and she'll feud with a bunch of people, and it will be good, if not great. And that's where we're at. And it sucks for people who are so psyched that they finally put the engine behind Willow Nightingale. It sucks for folks like me who are big fans of Willow, who are bummed about the idea of her not being champion, but I just feel like she's not going to be champion anymore. I'm going to take it away from her. Let me quickly get through these. The Elite, Okada, Jack Perry, Young Bucks versus Team AEW, Bryan Danielson, Darby Allin, FTR, in the Anarchy in the Arena match. There is a small chance that for whatever strange reason, they will have Team AEW win, but I feel like that is a very small, weird chance. And the more likely scenario is that they continue to do the storyline of I can't figure out how this fucking thing goes together. This is such a weird part of this kit. Where does this go? Where does this piece go? None of this feels like it should go anywhere. None of this feels right. None of this feels right or good, and I'm confused by all of it. I gotta fiddle around. All right, that goes in like that. That does feel right. Okay. Also feels weird to not have Mercedes going for the main title. They don't want Mercedes versus Toni Storm. They know that won't go well for them. They care more about Toni Storm than they do Willow. That's it. That's all it is. They don't want Mercedes. Also, a thing last week to take into consideration is Mercedes hasn't had a match since she got injured. You can flub it on your number 2 belt. If your number 2 belt's champion isn't really ready for it, you can fudge it and do a bunch of stuff. You can't fudge it with your big number 1 belt, who currently the champion is beloved and is getting you a lot of attention. Then you get Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné as your champions. You get both of them, not one or the other. You get both those champions. So yeah, they don't want to take the belt off they don't want to take the belt off Toni yet. Someday they will. Someday Mercedes will be the world champion. Instead, they're giving her the secondary title. All right, so I got to figure out how this piece goes on. This thing's confusing. The Elite are going to win. There's no way the Elite... There's a chance the Elite don't win, but the Elite should win because they need to get their comeuppance at All In. We have to have FTR defeat the Young Bucks for the tag belts at All In, which I don't want to see because I'm tired of looking at these two teams fight each other, but that feels like what we're going to see. That feels like the match. All right, these are pretty cool. These claws are cool. It just was a weird way to put them together. Felt weird. We'll panel line that after the pause for the cause. Real quick, I'll just say before we get into the pause for the cause, which we'll try to do quickly, Swerve Strickland's going to beat Christian Cage in one of the matches of the night, if not the match of the night. Those two are going to work so well together. There's going to be a lot of shitty stuff going on. Excuse me, a lot of stuff. But this is a match to prove that Swerve Strickland can work as a babyface. The crowd wants to love him. They do love him. This is his chance to work against one of the best heels in the company, an incredibly accomplished wrestler. Swerve Strickland is going to defeat Christian Cage. And it's going to be cool as hell. And then I don't know where he goes from there. I would think maybe he goes, Samoa Joe comes out and wants his fucking belt back. Because Samoa Joe is on Rampage, of all things. He's on tomorrow night's fucking Rampage. So I could see him showing up and be like, hey, I'm fighting you. I don't know. I think that's what's next for him. Fully heel. People still love him because he's Joe. Samoa Joe. That's my guess. Hey, if you're currently a subscriber to the Build-A-Bear Workshop, you can throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. I would love it if you did that. I'm going to try to get through these really fast because there are not a lot of you watching tonight, which is okay. It happens. But if you are watching and you are a subscriber, you can throw those emotes in the chat. Let the people know that you are a subscriber. It's the easiest way to help me out financially, because I'm going to talk about a bunch of ways you can help me out if you'd like to. If you don't want to, we don't have to. I'm currently at 35 subscribers. My goal is to get to 50. If you want to become a subscriber, you can do it with Cash Money or your Prime Gaming token, or you could gift a sub if you wanted to join the gift sub leaderboard with Umjan and Aristophan. You could gift a sub to the community. That would be cool. You could do it anonymously if you don't want to have us give you a shout out. But yeah, I would love to get back up to 50. So if you want to become a subscriber, go for it. If you want to become a subscriber, you should. But there are other ways to support what I do here. And we'll get into that right now financially. Like if you want to jump over to my Patreon at the $1, $3, $5, or $10 tier, there are different rewards for different tiers. You can find the link in the chat here or the show description on the YouTube archive. What's up, YouTube VOD watchers? Over on my Patreon, I am going to be recording this weekend and posting this weekend my May Q&A. If you want to see that, that's coming up this weekend. So prepare yourself for that video. That's coming your way. I got 2 questions for that. I'm excited for that. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/PatBear. There's memberships there. There's also, subscription is free. But if you want to become a member over on my YouTube channel, you can do that. You get my Wednesday videos on Tuesday. There's also one-time donations. If you just want to throw $1 or $2 my way as like a tip jar, you could do that. And everything I make through direct donations, through my PayPal or my Ko-Fi, through YouTube, through, which includes AdSense, so watching my videos helps me, through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund, and I take money of that fund to buy model kits that I then build on stream, like this wild kit that I'm working on right now. The Gundam Astray gold frame Amatsu Mina. I'm building the Amatsu Mina because I was able to pick that up because of past subscribers' generosity. So if you want to support me so I can keep buying cool shit, please do that. Now, I bought this here and I was happy to build it, and my patrons decided that's what I was going to build next. The next thing I'm building is a Lego set that came in the mail today. And that's going to be the next thing that I'm working on because that came off my Amazon wish list. If you want to decide what I build next, you can buy something from my wish list and then it'll come in the mail and make a dedicated video for YouTube and that my YouTube. And then I will build the thing that you purchased. I have inexpensive Lego sets. I have expensive Lego sets. I have pricey model kits, pricey, all kinds of things, some gear at the bottom. I added some new stuff recently. I just added a quick build. It'll probably be very quick to put together. A no glue, no sticker, no tools needed, slowpoke model kit. So I would love to build that. But I got a bunch of stuff on here that I'll be happy to put together. See if there's something there you'd like to see me build. Maybe you want to buy me an early birthday present because my birthday is a little less than a month from now. Actually, sorry. It's exactly a month from now because it's on the 23rd. So 1 month from today is my birthday. And if you wanted to buy me a birthday present, you could buy me a model kit that I then build on stream, make a dedicated YouTube video about. If you don't want to go through Amazon, I get it. I have a Throne wish list. There might be something on Throne you'd like to see me put together. Or maybe you just want to buy me a gift card so I can buy Dominoes or whatever. You can go through a Nightbot, or Nightbot has the link there to Throne. Also, the most convoluted way to support me financially, go to usagundamstore.com. Buy a gift card to USA Gundam Store. Then they'll send you an email with a gift card code. You then whisper me here on Twitch or send me a DM on Twitter or send me a DM on Blue Sky because Blue Sky has DMs now. And I have it set to anybody can message me on Blue Sky. No one has chatted me on Blue Sky. I'm double checking. Yes, everyone can message me on Blue Sky. So if you want to send me a message there, you can. With the gift card code. And then I will buy something from USA Gundam Store. Again, that's the most convoluted way. And more people have done that than bought things for me from Throne. Which is wild. If you want to support me for free and just hang out in a cool Discord, you can join my Discord. Plenty of awesome folks are in there. I post build photos at the end of every stream. People post stuff they're working on. Check that out. That's cool. I have some video links for you to check out. I will have a new episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club going up on Monday. But the current episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club that is on my YouTube channel is me talking about weird and wacky premises for manga. This is a third in a series of weird premises for manga. So check that out because there's some wild ones in there. And then Kuma Baer is my weekly anime recommendation series. Every week I recommend a different anime. Each month has a different theme. This theme is the best of 2000s. And I include the seminal work, the most 1999 anime that came out in the year 2004, Samurai Champloo. Take a look at Samurai Champloo, my video on that. Excuse me. Because I talked for quite a while about how fucking rad that goddamn anime is. So take a look. Speaking of anime, I am going to talk about 2 anime that I'm interested in chatting with you about that I have been watching. Before I get into that, I do need to drink some water because I'm in desperate need. I just coughed, so I got to drink a little water. Excuse me. And then we are going to get into working on panel lining and working on some feet. And I'm going to dramatically transition back to the overhead camera right now. All right. So I'm going to talk about. Oh, I'm going to hit the dance button first. I'm going to hit the dance button, then I'm going to talk about some anime. Thank you for using your channel points. Here's the dance button. Yeah, I'm going to get panel lining as we get ready to talk about some anime. I'm dancing a little bit. You can see my chair moving because my hips are shaking. Thank you for using your channel points, Lord Crashington. Many Sides of Voice Actor Radio, which is on Crunchyroll, is a show that I feel like probably should have ended up on High Dive, and it probably would have done better there. This is a show about two voice actresses who are rivals but become partners in a radio show that becomes weirdly popular. That leads to them, who are not necessarily popular voice actresses. Shenanigans take place. They eventually reveal the personas they have been using are fake, and they start acting like exaggerated versions of themselves. So a little bit of like wrestling in that way. They drop the character bits and start doing bits based on themselves. They are still voice actors. They are still running into some issues. They have kind of, even though they are rivals, they have become closer friends and maybe more, question mark. We don't know. It could just be a little bit of wishful thinking on the part of viewers, but maybe there's a little bit more. Maybe there's a little bit more. We don't know yet. Anyway, an ultimatum has been set. Chica's mom says, like, hey, I want you to quit because people know our address now. They know stuff about you. There are weirdos out there. I'm not comfortable with you doing this anymore. Chica does not want to quit. Chica's cohort does not want to quit either. So Yumiko and Chica were negotiating, and a compromise is made that there is going to be a test. Can the fans of our girls be cool? It seems like a test that will not go well and they cannot win, but they are still making the effort. The idea is that Chica and Yumiko are going to announce that they are going to go hang out. They're going to a bakery, but they're saying, hey, viewers, fans, if you show up and bother us, then we're going to quit. And they should not accept this from Chica's mom, but they do. They accept the challenge. And they're both very nervous about this challenge. There's a lot of like introspection going on in this episode. Yumiko and Chica decide to hang out to kind of calm their nerves, and they run into their rival, Meguru. In the real world, that would seem like the dumbest thing to do. Yes, Lord Crashington. The idea being that they were not supposed to agree with doing this. They were supposed to just say no and cave, but then they're standing their ground, and then their mom, or Chica's mom, is not backing off from it. She is also stubbornly not giving in. They run into Meguru, who is their rival, who has been a real bitch about a bunch of stuff. She's bitchy to them. It sucks. That's not cool. She is basically like, she had said some stuff that like she wasn't wrong. Wait, where is Kay? That she wasn't wrong about, but her tone was all over the place. So Chica's just like, I'm worried about what we're going to do here. I don't know if this is going to work out. I love doing this, and I don't know, I don't know if it's going to work out at all. Because this is her dream job. And Yumiko feels bad because at first she's like, now you know how I felt when it looked like I was going to lose everything, which is shitty. It's human. It's a very human thing. And she kind of shakes it off pretty easily. And she regrets that because also Chica's like, hey, thanks for hanging out and helping me. And basically she tries to console her friend and is like, hey, you and I are going to fucking figure this shit out. We're going to make this work. We're going to make this, somehow we are going to turn this around and make it work in our favor. There is a signing event, and it's been a while since the two of them went to an event. They're with Otome, who is kind of their big sis in the world of voice acting. And their hope is that she will be able to deter, because she has more experience, any weirdos that might show up. And then a girl shows up. She starts, also more second guessing from Yumiko if like, was it the right idea? Was doing this thing? Is all of this the right idea? I don't know. And then a girl shows up, and she is a fangirl, not just for Otome, but all three of them. She is a complete and utter maybe weirdo who likes all three of them and is familiar. Yes, she is fucking familiar. They know who this girl is. Chica's just like, I know who. Wait, what the fuck's happening right now? It's Mekaru. Mekaru, apparently after some forced persuasion, is just like, yeah, all right, fine. I liked you as voice actors. The personas that you used, that you recently dropped, I liked a lot. You inspired me to become a voice actress. I should also spell that she is a successful voice actress. You inspired me. And then when you dropped your personas to focus on the real you, I don't like that. I didn't like that at all. I like, I want those versions that I fell in love with back, or that she appreciated back. So our girl is just, and she was like, I don't know. I didn't know what else to say. You took away the characters I liked, so I wanted to be mean and punish you. And it's one of those things where you're like, okay, this explains why we randomly had a character who was, which number doing here? 26. Who was such a bitch. It makes sense that we have like figured that out. It doesn't excuse her incredibly weird and shitty behavior, but it does explain it more. And I was hoping this anime was going to have some kind of explanation of what was going on with this girl, some kind of motivation for her being like that. But anyway, now we know, and that I was not expecting. And she is aware that that this was not cool of her, which is also I do think it's funny that she's such a fan that she was like, well, I have to go to a signing, an appearance, even if they'll figure it out, it's me, I have to go. And I do find that funny. Anyway, basically, the girls decide the best course of action is to come clean and say like, hey, we're going on this event, we're going out, we're going to be here, and if things don't go well, then we're done. And then they show up to go out there, and the mom is there as the referee, basically, and there are fans. There are fans out there, but they are not being disruptive, but they're there. And it still feels weird. Yumiko feels overwhelmed. Chika wants to help her out and support her. And this is more of the Yuri stuff of them like maybe being in a relationship or the beginnings of a relationship where we're not sure what's going on there. And it might just be subtext to draw up more interest in the show, but maybe there's more to it. Anyway, there are some people there who are trying to be creepy. They're not trying to be like as bad as the dude early in the season. But there are some people being weird, but they get fucking self-policed. And there are some fans that are basically just like, hey, leave them alone. Let them just have their thing. Now, those fans are still there. So it's a weird thing where it's like, this is okay, but is it okay? But it is okay, so who cares? And And yeah, they face the challenge and are victorious. I guess it all worked out. And then after there is a closing scene, an extra scene where Mekaru is listening to the radio show, um, and apparently there is a compromise, which I think is a reasonable compromise, where they are going to keep their, like, in wrestling terms, they're like closer to reality characters. They're going to do the characters that are basically them turned up a notch. But sometimes they're going to use the characters they created for themselves, Yui and Yasumi. So they are going to sometimes do bits as those characters, which is the compromise that they have decided to go with, which should placate some people and then also give them more to play with. And that's the end of the episode. And it was, I thought that this was going to be a bigger deal than it ended up being, but yeah, it ended up not being the biggest deal in the world. Good for them. We'll see what happens with it, where it goes from there. Again, I do not know if these characters are going to fall in love or start dating. Last episode had a scene that really felt like just fan service and not like anything, so I don't know where they're going with it. I would love for it to be a, something, I would love for this to be gayer than it might end up being. But still good. And then we jump over to Bartender, Glass of God. Now, I'm behind on episodes. I'm going to be talking about episodes 6 and 7. I have not watched episode 8. I actually don't know if episode 8 came out. It might be a week off. But I'm going to talk about episodes 6 and 7 of Bartender. And I'm just going to go over these kind of briefly because here's the thing with Bartender. The vibes are really good, but it is an anime where, like, I can tell you events, but, like, it falls flat unless you're watching it because you want to see the lovingly almost rotoscope nature of them pouring drinks and talking about drinks in a way that I can't replicate. It's a bunch of people who love the act of bartending and the service of bartending and want to talk about it. And it is a enthralling watch, but it is not the easiest thing in the world for me to just kind of replicate in conversation form. Okay, so these are good there. All right, let's work on all this here. We are working on we did one of the feet. Now we are doing the parts of the legs that you can do at the same time. We're going to be doing as many of those as possible, and then we'll finish one of the legs and then work on the other leg. Why we did one of the feet first, I don't know. Why we didn't do the other foot as well, I don't know. Bandai has its methods. Sometimes they don't make as much sense to me, but they do have their methods. All right, so that's together. That's good. Great. So episode 6 of Bartender, Glass of God, which is a series loosely about the idea of trying to convince this guy named Ryu, who is a fantastic bartender, to work at a hotel, the bar and hotel, which is looming, but is now also kind of expanded, just being a cast of random characters in and around the world of bartending in London. That is kind of what it has become. It has grown out of that into being a bunch of other things. Yukari is just like one of the side characters is like, hey, I'm getting married. And a bunch of her friends are like, what? What are you fucking talking about? Huh? They are confused about this sudden announcement. Hayase who is a manager at a machinery company. He's under a lot of pressure. And so he encounters a woman at Aidenhall, which is the bar that Ryu runs, smoking, and he is really rude to her uncharacteristically rude. He's not. That's not his style. But he's feeling really rude. And then he comes back another time and he apologizes to Ryu, and he would like to find the woman and apologize to her because that's not his style. That's not who this dude is. And he feels bad about being an asshole. Uh, let's see. And then Ryu basically is like, "Hey, come behind the bar. Come work behind the bar. All right. Now you're a coworker of mine, so I can tell you about the woman you were rude to and what's going on with her. And we've seen her before in the show. Hayase comes back to the bar several times and eventually runs into the woman and then is like, "Hey, I'm so sorry about being an asshole." And they make up and they become friends. And then by the end of the episode, Yukari confesses to Ryu that, like, "Hey, the only reason I told people that I'm engaged to be married is that my grandmother really has been putting a lot of pressure on me to get married, and I did it more for her than for me, and I don't think that was the right way to go," which is like fair and yeah. Also, the cocktail that we saw throughout the episode that they spent a whole lot of time talking about, that again I am not going to be good at talking about, is the Alexander, which is a cocktail that is gin based, that is served chill, and there's a lot about the Alexander, and it's very detailed, and I don't pretend to know anything about it, but they get really in the fucking weeds about this drink. And then episode 7 is the Cardinal Hotel. This is the place that have been looking for their perfect bartender that was supposed to be Ryu. We've kind of paused that storyline, I guess. The business planning division is trying to figure out what kind of welcome drinks to have for their grand opening, but they can't decide. And Miwa and Yukari, who originally have been trying to scout and now have given up for now scouting our boy Ryu, go to his bar to ask for advice about what kind of drinks. And then Kelvin arrives, and Kelvin straight up asks Ryu, "Teach me how to make a glass of God," which is like the perfect drink. That was the whole kind of through line of most of the beginning of the series, was the idea of the glass of God, the perfect absolute drink. The person that can make that is the person that should be working at the bartender at the Cardinal Hotel. But apparently, Kelvin's father owns a hotel in Singapore, and the eldest son, Kelvin's older brother, was supposed to take over the company, but he died. So now the father is in Japan and wants Kelvin to take it, but Kelvin does not want to be in charge of a hotel. He wants to be a bartender. And he's like, "I want to impress my father so much that my father gives up trying to pressure me into do this other thing. So teach me how to make this ultimate drink." And Ryu is like, "Hey, it's not just about pouring the drink you think is right. There's a lot of philosophy," and we get more philosophy. That's most of this episode is philosophy. That's most of the series, honestly. The aim of bartender is hospitality, is kind of like his thoughts on that. And you need to basically help out the person. I believe it's translated like soothe the soul, or is kind of the translation they go for that. But basically, you're there to help your weary customer. And then by the end of the episode, Kelvin does manage to impress his father. He does manage to pull it off. But his father is like, "Yeah, that's great. I still want you to come back to Singapore." So it doesn't work. He's impressed his bartending skills, but that doesn't mean he doesn't want his son to just stay in Japan and hang out and pursue bartending. He's like, no, all right, I still want you to come back here. And the episode is focused pretty much exclusively. The big drink of the episode is the Singapore Sling, which is a gin-based mixed drink with pineapple and maraschino cherry, which I don't think there were maraschino cherries in the episode. I can't remember. It's been a hot minute since I watched this episode, but I think they didn't have cherries involved in it. But they did have pineapple. Apparently, there are a bunch of different people who think they created this drink or take claim for the Singapore Sling. But it is a very popular drink in Singapore, which makes sense for this episode because the hotel is in Singapore that the guy wants his son to take over. So it makes a lot of sense that we had that as a part of this episode. This series continues to be something that, as I said, is a little difficult for me to like go over, and this happened, and that happened, did that look cool, and this scene happened. It's a little tough. I like it a lot. I'm still vibing with it really hard. The other shows this season that I am enjoying, that I don't talk on a weekly basis, I am doing my best to love this season of Laid Back Camp. The characters are, it is very fun. It is still a very fun show. The animation quality has dipped so much, and it is still a huge bummer. But the content is still, the stories are still good enough that I can mostly overlook the fact that it bums me out to look at it. It's still hard. It's still hard to love that. It's a shame. Let's see what else. Let's see. So that's gonna look like that. Did I do this right? I think I did this right. It's hard because I don't. Yes. Okay. So that's gonna be on the end. So yeah, that'll bend like that. Okay. Yeah. So this is gonna connect to the hip. This is the knee. It's gonna go back there. Okay. Sorry, I just like to make sure because I have no problem, going back and fixing my mistakes. But if I can prevent my mistakes from happening, ooh, that's some good shit. If I can just not have mistakes, seems really nice. I am watching every episode of That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Shit is hitting the fan. We are going to get a very cool fight scene that might just be one episode, but it might take several episodes. This is the good shit. This is Hinata Rimuru Part 2. But yeah, it should be over pretty quickly, and then the fallout of this fight will take a while. It is some pretty good shit. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I don't know where they go from there, but there's still plenty of fallout from this what's going to be in this episode. And that's cool shit. If you were going to get into Tsukimichi Moonlit Fantasy, I would say you should wait until the end of this season. You should wait for the end of season 2, part 2 to be done, the end of the spring season, and then just marathon through the show, because sometimes nothing fucking happens. Like, some shit did happen in this episode. This episode had more shit than most of the series, but a good chunk of this show is just people talking about what is happening in the background and then occasionally dealing with the things that are happening. So things are popping off, but they haven't super popped off. I'm still waiting for that one big episode that this show is usually waits till then suddenly gives you that one big episode. So I'm still waiting on that. Is there any other anime that I'm watching weekly that I don't talk about on during the stream that I think is cool as hell? I don't know. I'm watching the shonen stuff. There's some stuff that I do want to go back to. There's a few shows that I would I would enjoy getting caught up on. New Gate is really disappointing because that manga is very fun and the anime looks awful. It is just bad looking, and that's a real shame. Um, Same thing with Banished Hero, where that I don't even necessarily like the manga so much, but the anime just looks like ass. There's a lot of shows this season that are really poorly animated, and they can make up for it, but they haven't. And My Hero, this season of My Hero is fucking good. Holy shit. This season of My Hero Academia is going really fucking well and is a lot. I feel like we're going to get some episodes this season that are like, and a bunch of characters talking about what's happening, because I feel like they're spending a lot of money on this last episode. I feel like, the budget. Fuck the budget on that one, because it's wild. Really strong. If you are behind on My Hero Academia, shit has been popping off and will continue to pop off. It's getting real good. That's enough about me talking about my stuff. I mean, I'll have more to talk about, but I would like to hear from you, friends. What are you watching right now? What are you reading? What are you into? What's got you going? Are you watching any TV shows, or are you excited about hockey playoffs and basketball playoffs and the like, or your football schedule is going to suck and so you're mad about that? Like, what's going on with you? What are you watching right now? What are you reading? What are you playing? What are you listening to? I don't know. Let me know. I like hearing from you about that stuff. I will tell you, as far as games go, I am back on my bullshit, and my bullshit is Balatro. I am back fully fucking in Balatro. I am spending too much time in Balatro. I'm having a really good time with it. I am still not good at that game, but I am still having a really good time with that game. That game is still fucking awesome, even if I am not good at it. All right, let's try to get these connected together. These little hanger pieces are. Yeah, hell yeah. These damn overhang pieces are tough sometimes. Sometimes you can't see it, and you're like, oh, there's just a little nubbin that is just in my fucking way. So yeah, I'm playing that again. Haven't played Helldivers 2 in a little while. Some of my crew my multiplayer crew that have been playing Helldivers 2 a bit, some of them have tried out X Defiant, and I didn't want to play that, and I haven't played X Defiant, and my hope is that they will not have a good time with X Defiant, and they will come back to Helldivers. Because I want to play more Helldivers with friends and not with strangers. So I'm hoping we get more time in. I will read your comments from folks in just a moment. I'm going to fix this stuff here. And then I'm playing Hearthstone. You know me. I got a miniaturized deck that is doing pretty well in Standard. A Paladin deck that does pretty well. It's a Excavate miniaturized deck that has a lot of good synergies with it. And the mini set came out. The mini set is out. And with the mini set, there's some new Evolve stuff. There's a couple of new Evolve cards. So I have gone with an incredibly greedy Evolve Shaman deck that is not good. It's just blatantly not a good deck. But I'm playing it. And I'm having a really good time with my bullshit, not good at all Evolve deck. So yeah, so I'm playing that quite a bit. Now I'm going to read what you've wrote. Ghost Valve says, helping a friend clean their place has taken a lot of free time energy. That sounds, that things are always dirtier than you imagine. You know, when I moved out of New York, I took a really long time to do all that stuff and did it well. And I was constantly feeling overwhelmed in the cleaning. Just constantly feeling like there was always too much to do with that. So yeah, I hear you. Lord Crash says, I finished up Poker Face, which goes places and is a great time. I've heard that. Hope it gets a second season. Yeah, I never ended up seeing Poker Face, but I heard very good things. Also been watching more 80s Columbo. That is still fun as hell as he deals with advanced tech like fax machines. That does sound great. That does sound like an enjoyable thing. Um, Aristofan says, oh, this is great to hear. Let me find this polycap that I need. Here is the polycap and polycap 3 that I am taking out right now. Here's polycap 3. Says, Aristofan says, after 10 years, I finally reached Legend in Hearthstone. Trash Legend, but Legend nonetheless. Fuck yeah, Aristofan. Oh, and you got a Zamory for getting Legend. Hell yeah. Congratulations. I have been Legend once in my life in Hearthstone. I got Legend once, and it was also Dumpster early Legend, where it was just like, oof, I probably need to stop. I need to protect my earnings by not doing anything else for a little while here. But congratulations. That rules. That's awesome. Enjoy Legend. Oh, we're doing 2 of these. Where's the other polycap 3? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Where's... Ooh. Did I do polycap 3 somewhere where I was supposed to do polycap, like another polycap? Because I only have one polycap 3 left because I used it somewhere. Did I use it in the... Is that... Ooh, that's in the foot. That's supposed to be an 8. I fucked up. I figured it out sooner, though. This is supposed to be polycap 8, and because the feet are the part of the legs have polycap 3, so I got to take this foot apart because I fucked it up. But I recognized it that I fucked it up, so I theoretically can separate this piece not terribly hard. Ghost Valve did a few nights of Helldivers 2. Hell yeah, like I said, hell yeah to Helldivers. I am hoping that my friend group, my multiplayer group, gets bored of X Defiant because I'm not interested in playing that, and so I'm hoping that we get a crew together. All right, so I have to try to pop this apart and pop this piece out, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, we got that piece out, so that's good. Lashbrook ended up deciding to use the Viz app more and burn through all the chapters so far of How Do We Relationship, which is a Yuri romance anime, but like everyone's kind of a hot mess. Yes, I have read some of that. I have not read all of that, but yeah, that is a like everybody is not trying their best. Everyone is trying ? In that show or in that series. Wristbands. Oh, you said that. Dustin says finished up the post Stormblood content in Final Fantasy 14 while you're still on trial. Hell yeah. Finished up X-Men 97 and Sandland. That's something that I finished. Yeah, I'm done with Sandland, everybody. And hey, guess what? Sandland's going to be one of the shows when I talk about my favorite shows of this season. I'm going to mention Sandland. Turns out that shit's real good. It's really, really good. Dirty has been playing D4 and Final Fantasy 16 or no, Final Fantasy 14 while binging through season 1 of NCIS. Now that you've finished watching Fringe, gonna relax and play games throughout this 4-day weekend. Hell yeah. I'm streaming on Saturday and Monday. No days off for me because I want to stream and also it benefits me. Monday I am going to be grilling right now. We don't have any guests for grill times. My hope is that we will. All right, I am now putting the proper polycap in, which is polycap 8, not polycap 3. I just put the wrong one in. So now I'm putting the right one in, which is this one. Great. So now I can rebuild this foot. I only fucked it up. Well, I got to put this on, right? But other than that, this will be good. There it is. That's how it goes in. Yep. Polycap 8. Get in there, Polycap 8. Come on. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing some barbecuing just right now, believe just for me and my folks. But we might have another person join us from the neighborhood, and that'll be fun. But that's Monday. That's going to be burgers and dogs, and probably a tuna salad, and or a potato salad or something like that. Like I'm not sure what the sides are going to be. Today was a crock pot experiment that went very well. Just kind of throwing stuff in the crock pot for a few hours and seeing how that goes. It was chicken breast for like 6 hours in the crock pot with not made up like the not stale but the not cooked package stuffing, like the little stuffing squares, and like 2 jars of chicken gravy, and then salt and pepper to taste, and a little bit of water to kind of dilute everything a bit, and then just slow cooked. Chicken fell apart with a fork. You didn't need a knife for it. There wasn't like a ton of gravy left because the chicken juices kind of get into everything, but the stuffing also absorbed a lot of the water and gravy. I think if I had done it with chicken, like cream of chicken soup, maybe instead of chicken gravy, that might have also been really good, but it was very tasty. And I liked it a lot. And then we just had it with mashed potatoes, and it was really tasty. Dirty says also have plans to make some beef tongue Sunday night to take to Memorial Day potluck. Nice. I imagine that'll go over pretty damn well. And Lashberg says, I've been kind of thinking of dipping back into Magic the Gathering Arena because of the new modern set spoilers. Yes. This weekend, you can, if you want to watch the pre-release from Loading Ready Run, they are doing that. Apparently it is on a set-by-set basis right now instead of just like they always are going to do one. And they won't be doing all of them, but they are doing this upcoming set. So if you want to get watch some people play some decks and learn some stuff from that, I believe that is Saturday that'll be. But you should check out Loading Ready Run for more information on that, if that is something you're interested in. I'm going to assemble these pieces here with our proper polycaps, and then we will call it a stream. And again, on Saturday, I'll be back. You got the new old Paper Mario? That's fun so far. Hell yeah. Yeah, enjoy Paper Mario. Enjoy that shit. Yeah. I hope you have a good time with it. Also, hey, this weekend, we're not going to raid them tonight because they haven't started yet. Last year they started on Thursday because they want to do 4 days. This year they're doing Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Plastic Bottle Weekender. We will be raiding them on Saturday. We'll go raid Plastic Bottle Weekender to go see what's going on with all of them. But yeah, that is this weekend, raising money for the Cure Alzheimer's Fund. I am not participating this year. I decided to take the year off. I will be doing a different charity event later in the year, and I only have the bandwidth internally for one charity event per year. So I took a break to make room for other people because I've been doing it every year. And that's happening this weekend. We'll raid it after the Saturday stream. Speaking of raiding, we are going to go raid somebody tonight because we always end with a raid. And we always want to share the love and go hang out with some people who are doing cool things. So we're going to go figure out who that is and go and spend some time with them. Ghostfell, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Who should we raid? How long has this stream been going? I like to look to see if it's like 3 hours. I don't usually raid unless they're a streamer I know who raids for or who streams for hours and hours and hours, like those 8-hour streamers. Who are we gonna go raid? I don't know. I don't know who we should go hang out with. Aristfan says I was a major lurker, but thanks for the stream. Well, thank you, Aristfan. Appreciate you being here. But yeah, I understand. All right, we're gonna go hang out with Xandra. I don't know how long Xandra is going. Xandra bot is up and running. I don't know how long Xandra is going to keep going, but Xandra is a great follow and a great to go see, and also made all my emotes. And she will raid someone cool anyway. So if she isn't streaming for much longer, she will go and raid someone awesome. So come along on this raid. Thank you all so much for being here. Reminder, Saturday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Continuing to work on this kit. We got a lot left to do because there's still, body completion, finishing the legs, and then also we got to build the big backpack. So it's going to be a little while before we finish this kit up. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great night. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.